Hello everyone and welcome back to more Misadventures with Gregory Edgeworth. We are in the middle of dealing with Varn Karma, so let's continue on with dealing with Varn Karma. Good joy.
Which means you can hardly call this entry for the finals perfect.
Ugh.
What? No more objections?
Is there no way I can prove their collaboration? Also, I just realized he makes the same sound effect that Edgeworth did back in Ace Attorney 1. Mr. Edgeworth? There's something that's been bugging me. What is it? The desserts Mr. Dover made for the finals would have taken a long time to make, right? Indeed. They were frozen sculptures after all. How would he have had the time to sculpt it after it was frozen? Let alone help Mr. Gustavia with his design as well. The way I see it, just waiting for the sorbet to freeze would have used up all his time. Just how is he able to make those sorbet sculptures? Raymond, you may have a promising future after all. Aww! Thanks to you, I have noticed one more possibility. Ray, don't eat paper like that. That's right. Mr. Dober's sorbet needed time to freeze properly. And the contest time limit would not have been enough. The method Mr. Dober used to make his sorbet within the time limit was... they were prepared in advance. If the sorbet was prepared in advance, all he needed to do was sculpt it.
Just what are you mumbling about?
Please excuse me. I finally realized. Your earlier view was correct. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth! What are you doing?
Oh? So you're finally admitting defeat?
No. All I'm admitting to is the truth of one of your statements. Dover and Gustavia's collaboration lasted only until the day before the finals. It is exactly as you said. They only cooperated until the day before the finals. The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made out of sorbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze. Which means Mr. Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sorbet in advance the day before.
That's right. So you realize Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals.
Then why did Mr. Dover not help Mr. Gustavia in return?
The views of the dead are of no concern to me.
If you aren't going to answer that, I'll need to get in touch with Mr. Gustavia himself. Or was your interrogation not quite as thorough as you claim?
You ingrate! You dare mock me?
That was not my intention, but I do have a problem with your attitude. I want you to give us a clear reason why we can't speak to Miss Gustavia in person.
A clear reason. Gustavia and Dover's collaboration has no bearing on this case.
What the fuck? You claim their collaboration is irrelevant. If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, it could serve as a motive for murder.
You're saying that Gustavia and Dover's collaboration was linked to the motive for the murder? If that were the case, why did he not conceal it? After all, we found about this collaboration from Gustavia himself. If you really are a lawyer, show us evidence that gives us reason to suspect Gustavia.
Only one of Mr. Gustavia's actions has been suspicious so far. Doubtless Varn Karma already knows of this fact. This could be a trap by Varn Karma.
What's wrong, defense attorney? Not going to answer?
But I mustn't back down now. Mr. Gustavia sneaked into Mr. Dover's room. His reasons for this are currently unclear. But the very fact he secretly entered the victim's room is reason enough to suspect him.
If that's the extent of it, I can dispel those doubts.
Knew it. Was it a trap after all?
I was intending to save this for the courtroom, but I'll make a special exception. We wouldn't want to prolong the trial with unnecessary information, would we? Take a look at this.
This is
a photo of Gustavia and Dover and their sons. Gustavia entered Dover's room in order to steal this photo.
to steal the photo.
It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Apparently, he thought that he'd be suspected if people found out he and Dover were acquainted. Yes, just like you're doing now. There's nothing suspicious about Gustavia's actions. No further room for argument.
No! Welp. That can't be it. Still adamant on not letting us meet with Mr. Gustavia.
I have an investigation to return to. I have no more time to waste on the likes of you.
Well, curse that Varn Karma, calling us a waste of time. What should we do? Mr. Edgeworth, at this rate, Master Jeff will be... Varn Karma is busy. Of course, why would he be so busy? Both the body and murder weapon have been found, and he already has his suspect. The police should have more than enough evidence to prove Mr. Master's guilt. If that's the case, then why is Varn Karma still investigating the crime scene? Mr. Edgeworth, is there something wrong? It seems I have been overlooking a matter of vital importance. Considering that he already has the evidence he needs to convict Mr. Master, I feel that Varn Karma isn't as composed as she should be. He didn't even tell Detective Bat the full results of the investigation. Yeah, Varn Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. Still hasn't received the autopsy report. Furthermore, something vanished from the crime scene, and we still don't know why. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. I definitely didn't get any reports about the bloodstain being cleaned up. But the strangest thing we found wasn't in Mr. Master's room at all. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. Just collecting all these last-minute logics here. Mr. Dover's blood vanished from Mr. Master's room, and somehow found its way into the fountain. What does this mean? Well, let's connect the blood from the fountain and the disappearing bloodstain first. Although the victim's blood wasn't found in Mr. Master's room, it was detected in the water fountain. There would be no need for the killer to conceal the bloodstain after the body was found. It's unnatural that only the bloodstains that were found with the body disappeared. Unless the body was moved, the blood would have still remained on the chocolate. Don't tell me someone removed the body and then erased the bloodstains. Now we connect these two logics. No autopsy report, and the body was removed. It's possible that the body was removed from the crime scene. The autopsy report still has not arrived. Although we have a murder weapon and a suspect, we don't know much about the body. I've been investigating under the assumption that the body had been discovered. Perhaps this assumption was wrong from the very beginning. Why did Karma give Detective Bad the autopsy report? To understand that, yes, I must turn my logic around. My thinking shouldn't be why is Karma hiding information about the body, but rather, what if Karma doesn't even have the information to begin with? What happens if I think of it like that? It's possible that the body wasn't removed by the police for autopsy. It was moved and hidden by the real killer. Mr. Edgeworth! I've heard many dark rumors surrounding Karma. He's a prosecutor who forges evidence, fabricates testimonies, and makes backroom deals. Yeah, I've heard that too, but what does that have to do with this? I try to avoid judging others based on rumors. And I didn't let those rumors influence my opinion on Karma until today. It seems he is a man who would distort the truth. Distort the truth? You don't mean forgery? I do. I can't allow him to get away with this.
I must return to the prosecutor's office for now. Not a word to that attorney.
Roger! You're not going anywhere.
What do you want, defense attorney?
I want to know the truth that you've been hiding.
Fool, are you trying to mislead the police's investigation again? If you interfere with the investigation anymore, I'll be forced to reprimand you myself.
Police, no. My objection is with you.
What?
Isn't it a prosecutor's job to ensure justice for criminals?
What are you saying? I have no time to debate the job of a prosecutor with you. However, I will tell you one thing. My job is to ensure all those I prosecute are found guilty. Before the perfect proof, there can be no room for doubt.
And to find that perfect proof, you would even stoop to forgery.
I was wondering what you were going on about. You intend to accuse me of forgery, don't you?
Yes. And it's for that reason you did not allow Detective Bad to investigate. What do you mean? The real reason Detective Bad wasn't investigating was not so he could keep an eye on us. It was to hide the fact you never found the body. What? They never found the body?
You cretins! You will cease with these ludicrous accusations! I will not tolerate any further insults.
In that case, let us verify the body. If you do, we will have evidence that shows not whether I am right or not.
The burden of proof falls on you, defense attorney. I have no reason to comply with your baseless conjecture.
You must have noticed it too, the lack of bloodstains at the crime scene. So why did the blood vanish? And more importantly, where did it go?
Foolishness. Why would anyone erase just the blood in the chest that contained the body?
Yes, that's exactly right. If the body had been found there, the disappearing bloodstains would have no meaning at all. However, what if the body